Last time on Hakai, Frieza and Cooler venture to Zuno's planet to get him to answer a few questions. However, upon arriving, they are greeted with a massacre. It wouldn't take long before they found the culprits, who in turn kidnapped Zuno. We also caught a glimpse of a few shadowy figures who were able to do away with the Super Dragon Balls, rendering every set of Wish Orbs powerless throughout the multiverse. As PIKKON is introduced as the leader of the Celestial Guardians, how will his story be rewritten? This is part 9 of an ongoing series and was created by Hakai. Support him and catch up fully using the links below. Meanwhile, in the 7th universe. Back with our old pals, Beerus and Whis more or less sit around in a huff. The Angel mutters how Vegeta's been somewhere particular for 2 weeks now, as the Oracle Fish slumbers away. The Destroyer himself claims he hadn't noticed, at least continuing to feign disinterest in the Saiyans. The Angel elaborates how at this very moment, the oxygen aura he casted on him might have already ended. If he hasn't come back yet, he may be in a critical state, or worse. His eternal student scoffs at this. Who cares? He's just a stupid fool after all. He got so jealous after Goku became a god of destruction, and got all sorts of new powers that quickly outmatched anything Vegeta himself could dish out. He decided he had to go about this route in his training. When we learn exactly where he's gone, to a realm called the AntiLife Dimension, the most deadly atmosphere that can exist in the universe. The place where all the garbage that the universe wants to discard to avoid its own self-destruction is sent. It's so bad that even the Destroyers themselves avoid it at all cost, feeling uneasy in the face of the adversity such an environment possesses. Vegeta went there 2 weeks ago. With a sly grin, we suggest that he believes Beerus is a bit anxious. After all, Vegeta spent way more time there than he did his first time. Who tells him to stop talking nonsense? That doesn't mean anything. The first time he went there was 1,000,000 years ago. Suddenly, the Oracle Fish starts shouting out, "Death! Lots of death!" Although it can't hear him, Beerus angrily shouts to know what he's babbling about over there, growling for the fish to explain himself. It continues on. Enemies. Very strong enemies. A lot of death. The universes are in danger. The Destroyer hops over to the Oracle to get a better understanding of what he's saying. As another unexpected event takes place. The sky fills with thunderous lightning and dark, heavy clouds. Almost immediately after, a tornado touches down. Beerus can sense a strong energy gathering overhead. If this keeps up, leaving his thoughts to be inferred, he trembles while telling Whis that if that thing spreads, the universe is going to. But the Angel offers to interfere before such a thing can even begin to develop. Albeit with a little drama. It turns out it was only Vegeta making his way back from the AntiLife Dimension. And seemingly just in time. Beerus wonders if this means he must have destroyed that entire dimension. And as outlandish as it may seem, the Angel believes that it seems so. Vegeta really has no limits. His attendant informs him that he's going to go take care of Vegeta. Beerus himself should probably leave or else he's going to be late for the meeting. Which he totally forgot about. The meeting of the gods. Sometime later, using his abilities, Whis does his best to revitalize the prince. He was so depleted of energy, he only had about 5% of his ki remaining. Most of his bones were broken and his organs were severely damaged. If it wasn't for Whis' aid, he would have been dead in minutes. All because of this desire to become the strongest. Mortals are fascinating creatures. As the staff begins to vibrate, a call. Something must have happened. But who could it be? At the same time, in Universe 6, we rejoin Goku, who's seen training with Kashin or a similar material. He implores Vados to bring it on! Using the Hakai, he's able to make quick work of the blocks, though not without minor struggle. After a few minutes pass, Goku gets cleaned up and takes a seat, planning to continue his destroyer education. Vados goes on to explain, as she told her student before, there are different ways one can use the Hakai, one of which is like an explosion. It can also turn your target to dust or make them completely disappear. In the last 2 months Goku's been training here, he's mastered each way of using the Hakai. It's actually really impressive. It took Mr. Champa around an entire year to do it. Excited, our hero thanks his instructor. Her training has been awesome. However, there's something he needs to know. The essence of energy is destruction, hence the name. Which reminds him, she said there are differences between the Hakai and destruction energy, but he still doesn't fully understand it. As she explained before, the energy of destruction is just a form of energy, while the Hakai is a product of this energy. It's like his Kamehameha, which is a technique derived from Goku's ki energy. In other words, energy of destruction is the tree, and the Hakai is the fruit it bears. The same concept applies for Goku's regular ki. Well, that's used for everything from flying and moving faster. It's also used for a variety of ki-based attacks. Like regular ki, energy of destruction also goes on to be other things, Hakai being one of them. There's also like what Mr. Vegeta and Mr. Top do. Since neither are technically an official destroyer, they can only use a simulation energy of destruction that doesn't compare to the real thing at all. It's really nothing when standing against the genuine energy of destruction that true Hakaishins have. A little mesmerized, our hero believes he's kind of beginning to understand. But he still doesn't get why energy of destruction is so different from his normal ki, and why it makes him feel, well, bad when using it. It's also really hard to control. Indeed, destruction energy and common ki are very different. They're also different from divine ki or the simulation destruction ki that some warriors are able to produce. That's because the real destruction energy is a living energy. But a living energy? What does that even mean? Vados further elaborates that after being inserted into a host, the destruction energy takes the shape of a spiritual being. It's like if the energy had its own consciousness and will. What she means, since Goku has received his own destruction energy, it is now in his body. Because of this, a new being has begun living inside him. But does this mean there's like a ghost inside of him? Though, and not any more comforting, demon would be more accurate, since the destruction energy is purely that, destruction and negativity. This is why it feels bad when using it. And what's worse, that being in Goku's body also wants to conquer Goku himself. Our hero begins to speculate that this must have been what happened when fighting against the King of Sadala, wasn't it? Which was exactly the case. To keep the destruction energy under control, his body subconsciously uses his normal ki. The more he can control his destruction energy, the more he needs his ki to keep it under control. It acts as a fine balance. In his fight against King Krista, he had less control of his destruction energy. Ergo, he could only use a small percentage of his total power. And as he pressed Goku, Goku used a bit more than he should have, and it caused him to lose control and become possessed. The Saiyan starts to understand more and more, but he's getting better controlling it since that fight. That means he can use more of his new powers, doesn't it? And that's correct, much more. When he fought against the king, the overall power he could access was far less than what he could when fighting Jiren in the tournament, for instance. But now, the power Goku can use without losing control is larger than the one he had before becoming a god of destruction. If he were to take on Krista again, Vados has little doubt that this time he would arise the victor. And to be honest, she thinks he's the 5th most powerful god of destruction in the multiverse. All stuff Goku is happy to hear. He wants to get even stronger though, so he asks if they can keep training. As much of a relief it is that this new destroyer is so much different than Champa, Vados is afraid that her student has forgotten about the meeting of the gods. It's going to begin very soon. They better get going or else he'll be late. Starring him back to reality. Sounding a bit familiar, he totally forgot about that. And truth be told, he doesn't really want to go. He doesn't want to wear those silly clothes and doesn't even know what to do when he gets there. The angel goes on how the gods gathered to do many things. One of them being the discussion of important matters throughout the universes. They exchange ideas and experiences among other things. But in reality, the angels don't get to attend these meetings to let them enjoy themselves, usually resulting in them playing foolish games the entire time. Which doesn't sound all too bad to the Saiyan. If that's the case, maybe he can fight someone over there. changing his tune altogether. He's ready to go. That's when she gets an unexpected call, just like Whis. What could be going on that requires the attention of multiple angels? She decides that since he doesn't know how to get to the location of the meeting, she'll just have to take him there as fast as she can. But she has to see the Grand Priest immediately. Between each of the 12 universes, there's a world that acts as a neutral base. It's a very resistant planet, more so than even the Kaioshin or Hakaishin planets. The meetings of the destruction gods take place on these celestial bodies. Touching down, Helez taunts Liquor to just give up. She's the best shooter in all 12 universes. Though he gives it back claiming, "For now, Helez, for now." As the two of them are, generally speaking, on the west side of the planet, Sidra stands to the very east. He thinks to himself that the only reason he lets them use him as a target is to show off how fast he is and how powerful his shield is. As one of the arrows makes its approach, he's able to dodge at the last moment. Judging by its key, that had to be one of Liquor's. And just as he thinks this is getting boring, a loud crack echoes between his ears. As Helez is able to make contact with hers. It was so accurate, it didn't even hit, let alone destroy anything in its path. Sidra himself didn't even notice it coming. And it was so strong, it cracked his shield, one of the most resilient among the gods. Nearby, it looks like Rumshi and Moscow, or Mule depending on your preference, challenge each other in a sumo match. And enjoying a glass, Iwan chats with Jin and Arak. He tells him that it's been nearly 1,000,000 years since his last haircut. What do they think of it? However, their body language alone tells us it's nothing good. Then we find Beerus, who's screaming at Quitella that this time he's going to win. Who replies that he doesn't think so, as they're in the middle of a fierce arm wrestling competition. In the back, Belmont calls dibs on Quitella next. Or rather, correcting himself, he has dibs on the wink-wink winner. Not taking kindly to this insult, Beerus sneers for Belmont to shut up. He's got this. As the match rages on. On second thought, the clown god kind of hopes the two just keep struggling. He's a little tired today. Something very specific garners their attention. A voice remarks, "Geez, Miss Vados really left in a hurry." The newest member of the God of Destruction family has arrived. Like before, he wonders what the heck he even does here. When he notices all the destroyers glaring into his soul, much like they did before. Seems like these guys still really don't like him. Running over to the face he knows better than the others, he happily greets Beerus, chiming "Long time no see," sheepishly pleading with him if he could help get everyone to lighten up a little. Though he only scolds Goku to go away, he's embarrassing him in front of everyone. Causing Quitella to scoff that by the way he's talking, Beerus seems to think he's popular around here. As the various gods murmur about their disapproval of Goku, whether it's simply because he's a newcomer, or the misunderstood drama he caused in starting the Tournament of Power. He tries to get everyone to calm down. He didn't even choose to be a destroyer in the first place. They were all there. Zeno forced this upon him. Rumshi scoffs at this claim, like he's just been licking Lord Zeno's boots for no reason. Though with a softer heart, Iwan does his best to take Goku's side. What's in the past is in the past. They're all friends here. Goku's one of them now, so they should all try to get along. Helez agrees. She, for one, is merely grateful to have a handsome man here for a change. These meetings are usually a horror show. Sidra continues with his charge for unity. He insists that they all stop this hostility at once and get off on the right foot. They must offer their newest colleague a warm welcome. Quitella agrees with the previous three, though he's not so sure about the handsome remark. But given events prior, he doesn't much care for this Goku character, even going as far to call him an idiot. But he can't stand the cowardice of teaming up with some of these other gods just to bully him. Here's tapping his nose at the idiot comment. But this only causes Goku to narrow his eyes, asking, "You know what? I was getting pretty tired of only training and not having a real fight. So how about Quitella, bring it on?" Who shouts for the rookie not to be so arrogant. before they can begin, a blinding light fires through the clouds. Goku questions Beerus if he feels that too. And he does. Whoever they are very powerful. Revealing PIKKON as the dust clears. He bellows out to the gods of destruction that he needs to speak with them immediately. As they all stand in attention, PIKKON turns his gaze onto our hero, uttering, You are the Saiyan, Son Goku, am I right? Calling out Goku in particular, what could the leader of the Celestial Guardians have in store for the newest god of destruction? Is his presence here related to the Grand Priest contacting Whis and Vados? Likely all the angels. Or does he have a score to settle?